Okay, so here's the big questions. Vegas Paulie C, shout out to Vegas
Yep.
Paulie C, the influencer you could call him. He convinced me to put some pop craps on the floor here, but at 3, 4, 5 times odds. If I'm not mistaken, we're the only ones in the city that do them at three. Maybe in the country. He said even in New York they don't have them at 3, 4, 5 times odds. Even when we told your sales team, they were like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" To his credit, it's been gangbusters, amazing volume on those games. But he said the biggest challenge he's talked to people, because he talks to a lot of people, he said the biggest challenge that is convincing them that those dice are real dice and not RNG. Can you speak to that? Like, are the outcomes on the ETGs not RNG? Is it my question making sense
Correct.
there?
Yeah, no, on the dice, depending on the price. So yes, the outcome is completely random. Matter of fact, with that particular dice product you're talking about, if you were to, I don't even know if he knows that, but I'll share something with your audience, is if you touch the button very softly, the dice will bounce maybe an inch off the generator. If you hit the button hard, the dice will jump about 6, 7 inches off. So there's actually a sense of control where how high and how much those dice jump is controlled by the player. So yeah, so it's under regulatory approval. They're random, completely random. It's not fixed. It's not skill based. It's not anything like that.
You can't control the 7 out when it's time to 7 out. You don't need to, because the math of the game is the math of the game, which is still in your favor. So that's what I was trying to explain to him. There's no reason why I would be able to do that. And I would imagine gaming would, but he was convinced that not him, but the people that he talks to think it's, so that's good on this podcast to clear that up. There's no RNG involved in any of the ETGs. Even the blackjack doesn't need to be.
The only place you have some type of an influence is if you start to get into other forms of regulated gaming where they require you can't, like if you're in a bingo world, there's certain rules. You have to have 2 players on a device at the same time. Otherwise you can't have a game operate. There's certain regs in certain markets, or for example, pay tables. If you're in a VLT market, sometimes you can't have a top prize above a certain amount, or you can't wager more than $5 a spin. There are variations in the products tied to regulation, but nothing associated with the randomness of the product.